What's up guys, Sam Adams here, and welcome to The Drop, which is a series every Monday here on my channel where I choose the top video game releases of the week and give you guys a couple more details on them, tell you guys what you might want to pick up this week. So this week in particular, there's a pretty big FPS coming out along with a couple of other things. It's a pretty exciting week, you know, not as good as last week, which you can check out here. But you might just want to stick around and see what you guys have the option of picking up. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into The Drop. Starting off, we've got Final Fantasy Type 0 HD coming to the Xbox One and PlayStation 4. And this was actually originally released in Japan on the PSP back in October 2011, I believe. And it actually takes place in the land of Orient, which is divided into 4 different nations, and each of these nations has possession of a separate crystal, each having its own powers. I'm not really sure what that has to do with the plot, but if I gather the information correctly, the goal of the game is to become the Agito and save the land of Orient from an impending doom. In other words, it's more of that strange anime kind of thing that we always expect to see from Final Fantasy and Japan games in general, or Japanese. I can't believe I just said that, but yeah, so if you're into that kind of Japanese gameplay kind of thing, you might want to check out Final Fantasy Type 0 HD coming to the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Next up, we've got Battlefield Hardline coming out on the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC this Tuesday. And this is actually a pretty interesting release. It's kind of a twist on the usual Battlefield kind of game, and it's a pretty long-awaited title since it was delayed. It was supposed to come out last fall, but obviously DICE didn't want to have a repeat of how Battlefield 4 was released the previous year, which of course was an absolute disaster. So now we're getting it here in March, and as far as the single-player campaign goes, it looks to be pretty interesting. It's actually taking the style of a TV cop drama, and that's not something we have ever seen before, so hopefully it'll go pretty well for it. It does seem to be a pretty narrative-driven game, which isn't something we generally see from a Battlefield game. We haven't really seen any story-based gameplay that's, you know, really heavily played on since the Battlefield Bad Company games, and it'll be good to see that kind of thing returning to the franchise. But the multiplayer does bring some innovation. I'm going to go ahead and read off some of the multiplayer game modes. You've got Blood Money, which is pretty much cops and robbers trying to take a large sum of money from each other. Conquest, which of course is the flagship Battlefield franchise game mode. You've got Crosshair, which is a VIP assassination kind of game mode where you're, the enemy is trying to assassinate a VIP being protected by the cops. Looks to be pretty interesting. Heist is where you blow open a vault and you try to escape from the cops with the cash, or if you're playing as the cops, you know, you try to take out the robbers before they get into the vault. It's pretty fun. I played it in the beta. No complaints there. It was actually pretty fun. Hotwire is where controlled vehicles across the map are battled over. So if a cop has a car, then you can try to blow up the car or kill everybody in the car and take the car, and then you generate points based on how much you or how long you control that car. Pretty fun game mode, kind of confusing, kind of it's really based on if you are able to get into a vehicle or not, how much fun you have. So, you know, it's kind of one of those ones you get used to and accept for what it is. Then you've got Rescue, which is where the authorities try and save the hostages from the captives. And then Team Deathmatch is where you kill each other and there are no vehicles. So it should definitely be interesting to see how old Battlefield fans take to this new entry into the Battlefield IP or franchise. It's definitely changing a lot of things up. I think it might be pretty good. The beta, it just didn't feel like a Battlefield game enough to me to be called a Battlefield game. So I'm probably not going to be picking this one up, but it does look to be pretty interesting, and it does put a lot of a twist on the classic Battlefield game. So you might want to check this one out if you're looking for a new FPS to play. Next up, we've got Mario Party 10 coming to the Wii U, which is actually Mario Party's first debut on the Wii U. And it takes a lot of stuff from Mario Party 9 and brings it over to the Mario Party 10. However, there is a new Bowser Party game mode where one player can actually play as Bowser on the Wii U gamepad and try to kind of trip up the other players as they're trying to complete the mini games that Mario Party is so famous for. But the Bowser Party game mode does actually have some exclusive little mini games and stuff, so that'll be a freshener up for the entire franchise in general. And I also hear that the amiibo integration works really well with this game and adds a new kind of flair to the gameplay. So if you are always a fan of the Mario Party games, or you're looking for something to do with your friends on a Friday night, or if you have a weekly game night, this one would be amazing for that. And it's coming out this Friday, I believe, on the Wii U exclusively. Last but not least, we've got Tales from the Borderlands Episode 2 entitled Atlas Mugged. which actually follows the story of Rise, who is trying to become the next Handsome Jack, and Fiona, who is trying to strike it rich. And rumor has it that a new vault key is available, and obviously the vault holds riches and monies, so these two characters are trying to get there. And it actually sounds pretty interesting, and it comes to us from Telltale Games, like I mentioned, so obviously this storytelling is going to be off the charts awesome. And I would highly recommend playing episode 1 before you jump into episode 2, but luckily the season pass, which includes all of the episodes in the Telltale Games Tales from the Borderlands, is actually only $20, so you can get that on all PlayStation and Xbox consoles as well as PC, in addition to on your Android phone or iPhone. So there really isn't an excuse as to not playing this unless you're not interested, but I mean, Telltale Games is an awesome storytelling company, and I would highly recommend checking this one out. So there you guys have it. There's your drop for this week. If you enjoyed this video, drop me a like down below, and don't forget to comment telling me what you guys are going to be picking up and playing this week. And of course, if you are new to my channel, don't forget to head over and check out some of the other videos that I make. I upload new stuff at least 4 days a week, so there's always something fresh for you to check out here on the channel. And as always, I want to remind you to click that subscribe button, and also thank you for watching this video, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.